Welcome to Q&A practice. We'll start out with defense attorney. Ready? Here we go. Good morning, sir. I'm Myriad Conrad. I'm one of Mr. Saar's lawyers. Hi. In preparing what the jury has now seen, the multiple page, I think 14-page document. Did you take any notes in preparation of that? No, it's all just done on the computer utilizing the records and the tower list and the mapping and so forth. And do you create spreadsheets as you're doing that? They're just derivative of the original spreadsheet, so they may be pared down to, like in this case, the April 15th through the 18th, but there's no, I don't create an original spreadsheet, no. And did you provide copies of those documents to the government? The call detail record? Objection, Your Honor. It's not clear what documents you mean. Well, you created documents that were essentially a summary of what you reviewed, the records you reviewed. Is that right? I utilized the records, the original call detail records, and then I can filter it out or filter it down to the calls I'm interested in versus having the thousands of calls. I see. All right. And did you write any reports or memoranda regarding what you found? No, I mean I've emailed back and forth like the drafts and stuff like that for peer review or to the prosecutors. So when you say drafts for what? The presentation. Okay, and I'd ask to be provided with those. Ms. Conrad just complained that she had the draft of the presentation that we sent her. Okay, let me ask a different question. How many drafts did you prepare? I only sent one draft up to Al. I mean, that's the draft. I mean, that was the draft, and that draft became a final. And you said there were emails back and forth, right, to the person who is doing the peer review, asking them to do the peer review, as well as to Al, showing him that the draft was done and to contact me after he reviewed it. And was there any substance in those emails? No, it was all logistics. Okay, thank you. All right, yes. Just while we have the jury out of the room after this witness, we have a brief witness who's going to describe the press conference and introduce some photos from the press conference that we've agreed upon, and then we'll move to MIT. Okay, and there was a controversy about one of the pictures. Yes, Your Honor. Let me see the numbers. So I'm told they're 676, 677, and 678. Do you know which one it is? The picture we object to is the graduation photo in which Officer Collier is back by the flag, and we just think that's 77, 677, 677. I guess my question is, why do we need 3 photos? Well, Your Honor, having Chief Fava explain how Sean Collier was hired by MIT and his experience before he joined the MIT police force, we were asking him about what path Sean took, and one of them was that he attended the police academy. I asked him about what uniform he was in at that time. He said Somerville, and he explained why it was Somerville and not MIT, and that he recognized this as being his graduation photo. So that was part of his story of how Sean joined the force. And then the other picture is of him in his MIT uniform, which, as the court can see, is different. And the explanation for that is that uniform, and that was also his identification card. Well, I think it's cumulative. I don't believe you need more than one, frankly. Well, you can have the narrative of what his career path was, but can I use the one they're not complaining of, then the general one, and the other? Fine, you can use the civilian one as well. Your Honor, since the jury is not here, if Ms. Conrad intends to attempt to introduce phone records that the government objects to introducing defense evidence in the government case, perhaps we should deal with that now as opposed to wasting the jury's time when they come out. I think I've already ruled on that. Okay. Well, Your Honor, I am planning to ask Agent Fitz questions about his review of phone records, and I assume that that is permissible. And I also, to the extent there are excerpts from phone records that are in the government's chalk, I intend to show the phone records from which those were drawn, and we'll see how it goes. I don't think the records themselves, the volume of records themselves, should be admitted. So something else? Yes, while the jury is out of the room, it may surprise you, we're actually in agreement on the point I'm about to raise, and that concerns the autopsy photos of Officer Sean Collier. There are 3 photos that we intend to use. I don't think there's any objection to those 3 photos. What we would like to do, though, is not have those photos broadcast, that those photos just be shown to Your Honor and to the jury, to the witness, but not put on the big screens. Well, somebody, I don't know who, gave me a set of I gave you autopsy photos, the PowerPoint that was put together by Dr. Robinson. And if you look at the first photo of the head of Officer Collier, we will use that photo. As you turn the page, the next photo of the side, and then a picture. I think we've had some discussion about autopsy photos in general, and I think the consensus is that they need not, because of the nature of them, they need not be displayed publicly beyond the jury out of respect for the victims and their families. I think perhaps the most feasible way would be the old-fashioned way and let the jury see paper copies. The electronics are a little more complex because of the way the system is configured. That's fine, Your Honor. Over lunch hour, we'll make 18 copies or 19 copies, one for the court. Any disagreement with that approach? No, that's fine. My understanding is that the big screens can be unplugged, and it works that way. All right, let's practice a little bit more. And this is actually the same case, just a different point in the trial. And we are with the defense attorney. Ready? Here we go. Now, did you, by any chance, review the extraction from Tamerlane's phone? It probably came into our area where we were working in the original investigation, so it's very possible that I saw it, but we didn't rely on it for any of our maps or anything. Okay, if I can just have the camera for the witness only, please, and can I clarify it? Oh, sure, please do. On that extraction, we might have used contacts, like so if a contact was listed as a certain person associated with a phone number, that's how we would have used that extraction. Okay, all right, I'm not sure I understood what you just said, but it may help me if I'm looking at something. To marry up a name to a phone number is what we use it for. Okay, again, just for the witness. Do you see an entry for 415? Let me go back down, actually. No, let me stay there, 415. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm just not clear. Why is the witness being impeached, or what is the question? No, I'm eliciting information. I thought that's what. Go ahead. Thank you. 4/15/2013, and it says 6:51, but then it says UTC. Do you know what UTC is? The GMT. About this time of year. It would be 4 hours difference. Is GMT Greenwich Mean Time? Yes. So that actually would be the 2:51 call? Yes. All right, we will stop there, and that will conclude our Q&A practice.